Let Mortal Kombat begin!
Look, I'm not a gamer. I know certain things about certain games, but I'm just not into gaming culture. It's not my thing. I have heard of Mortal Kombat, but my knowledge of that game and that franchise is basically, I know the catchphrases like finish him and get over here. So when Mortal Kombat 2 was coming out, I didn't think I would see it because I didn't see any of the other Mortal Kombats. But here's the thing. When you have children, you sometimes bow to their wishes, and my son is a fan of Mortal Kombat, so he wanted to see Mortal Kombat 2, which came out this past weekend. So what do we have here? Especially for us non-gamers, is this an entertaining movie? Is it something you're going to walk into and be like, yeah, that was cool? Or is this something that you're going to see and be like, I didn't know what the hell was going on there, man? Well, before we answer that, let's talk a little bit about the plot for the film, Mortal Kombat 2.
Let's talk!
So, this picks up after the events of the 2021 reboot. Pretty straightforward plot. Earthrealm's fighters preparing for the long-awaited tournament against Shao Kahn and the forces of Outer World for control of the Earth. This time around, Johnny Cage is thrown into the chaos, alongside familiar characters like Liu Kang, Sonya Blade, Scorpion, and Katana. So, what works in this film? Well, easily the biggest strength of the movie is the cast. Karl Urban, he steals the show as Johnny Cage, bringing the perfect mix of arrogance, comedy, and action hero swagger to the role. He feels like he walked directly out of a video game. Adeline Rudolph does a great job as Katana, giving the character a little more emotional depth than you would have expected, while Jessica McNamee continues to be a strong presence as Sonya Blade. And the rest of the cast does an admirable job as well. The fight sequences are great. It's exactly what fans would be hoping for. Director Simon McQuaid clearly understood the assignment this time around. The choreography is faster, more creative, and much more brutal than the first film, with several sequences recreating iconic moves and fatalities straight from the game. Some fights even visually resemble the classic side-scrolling arcade style, which is the kind of ridiculous fan service that works perfectly well here. The movie is packed with references, character reveals, classic lines, and little nods to longtime players.
So cool.
What doesn't work in this film, however, is the pacing is really uneven, especially in the middle stretch where the film spends a little too much time setting up lore and explaining backstory, instead of letting the fights speak for themselves. At nearly 2 hours, it occasionally drags between action scenes. The CGI is also very inconsistent. Now, some moments, especially certain fatalities and creature designs, look fantastic, while other sequences feel strangely unfinished or overly artificial. It's one of those movies where the visual quality swings wildly from scene to scene. Also, and this goes back to me not being a gamer, you really need to know the games to get everything out of this movie. Casual viewers who only vaguely remember the franchise may find themselves completely lost as well, especially once the movie starts throwing around deep-cut characters, alternate realms, resurrections, and complicated rivalries without much explanation. Now, fans will probably love that, but a newcomer is going to struggle. I know I did. Look, overall, Mortal Kombat 2 is a messy but entertaining sequel that improves on the first film in almost every way. It may not have a great story, and the pacing and CGI issues may hold it back from being truly excellent, but as a loud, violent, fan service-heavy video game adaptation, it absolutely delivers. But, like I said, you really kind of gotta know the game. Or like me, have somebody next to you to just kind of explain things as you go along. I feel like it's going to be something that I might enjoy more the next time, because after the movie, my son and I had a nice little talk about the things I didn't understand, and they made a little bit more sense to me. However, I gotta say, the people in the theater, they were clapping. I guess this is the perfect fan service film, and you know what? What's wrong with that? More fan service, please. Give the people what they want.
You give the people what they want.
Well, that's all I have for you this week. Tune in next week where I give you my thoughts and my feelings on whatever I've seen. In the meantime, click that like button. Subscribe. Leave a comment or a question. Share this video with friends and enemies alike, and as always, thank you for giving me your valuable time, and I'll see you next week. Take care.